Welcome back. Good Thursday morning. Thank you for being here. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and it is Thursday, January 30th. It is 8:02 on the East Coast. We've got breaking news this morning on the mid-air collision of an American Airlines commercial jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter over D.C. last night. Officials are saying 27 bodies from the jet and 1 body from the chopper have been recovered. 28 bodies recovered as the investigation transitions to a recovery mission rather than a search and rescue mission. D.C. Fire and EMS Chief John Donnelly said he expects no survivors. 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on that passenger jet, including several members and coaches from the U.S. figure skating team. They were returning from a camp in Wichita, Kansas. 3 soldiers were said to be on board the military chopper. Terrifying audio captured the moment the crash happened last night.
Did you see that? Go around, climb, maintain 3,000. Blackjack 3, can you return to base? Blackjack 3, proceed directly to Glebe. I need you to land. I need you to land immediately. Can you go to Dulles for a few minutes? Can you go to Baltimore?
President Trump has been briefed on the situation. He said on Truth Social, this is a bad situation that looks like it should have been prevented. Joining me now on the phone is Boyd Group International President and Aviation Analyst Mike Boyd. Mike, thank you very much for weighing in. Your reaction?
Look, this is a problem we have with air traffic control. Mr. Duffy has to do something about this. We've messed around with air traffic control for 30 years. Now we have deaths in the Potomac because of it. So this is a wake-up call for the new administration, which means fix the FAA and fix it soon before more people die.
You are attributing this and putting the blame on air traffic control and the FAA. Why? Specifically tell us what was wrong.
We had 2 flying machines run into each other over the Potomac. That is the FAA's job to avoid those things. Now, who knows? We have all kinds of human issues here, but the fact is we've had near miss after near miss for the past umpty-ump years. Now we've had a collision. The collision is the responsibility of the FAA and the air traffic control system. Somebody failed. So
tell me how it's possible that a Black Hawk helicopter entered the airspace or the path of a commercial airliner.
You know, they let it happen, number one. Number two, the fact is we are dependent upon humans, and humans make mistakes. There's no question about it. But the very fact we had a Black Hawk helicopter that was in the path, basically, of the approach to Washington National Airport, that is a problem. That should have never happened. This is why we don't have helicopters of a lot of over New York City anymore, because they ran into each other or they'd crash into a building. It's the same thing here. So there was a major failure here, and that helicopter shouldn't have been there. The airplane should have, but not the helicopter.
Well, obviously, there's a major failure somewhere, but Sean Duffy, the new transportation secretary a moment ago, was on that press conference saying that the paths were standard, that the jet coming in was following a standard plan, and the Black Hawk helicopter was on its own standard plan. The two can't make sense together if, in fact, there was this failure. So if he's saying they were on their standard paths, why didn't the air traffic control see it?
Because we have a bad air traffic control system that, unfortunately, his predecessors have tolerated. They've talked about it, but they've tolerated it. And the fact is, yes, if both was doing the right thing, something was wrong with the system, and that means people died because of it, which means Mr. Duffy has to turn around and say, something was really wrong here. We have to change it and change it right now. I fear he's just going to warm that seat like his predecessors did, and I hope I'm real wrong. But he never even mentioned that at his hearings. He never said anything about, the dangers in air traffic control or other things. So this is a wake-up call for the Trump administration.
What past precedents regarding air traffic control issues are you referring to?
Number one, across the country, do a news search of near misses. We had another near miss between 2 airplanes, about 2 weeks ago. So they've been reported over and over again. And a lot of them are human error. But the fact of the matter is we shouldn't have human error when we have people on airplanes. So we do have an air traffic control system that isn't working, and he just admitted it. The helicopter was doing what it was supposed to do, and that PSA airplane was doing what it was supposed to do, and now people are dead. Somebody has a system that doesn't work, and he has to change it. It is in his lap.
What specifically do you believe officials will be investigating with regard to the air traffic control and the FAA?
Well, number one, this they're going to investigate right away. But on a wider level, we have to look at why have we had near misses over the past several years? Why was this a tragedy today? If he says both vehicles or both flying machines were doing what they should have been doing? It's our system that is bad, and that's what has to be looked at. To be honest with you, Maria, we need to take a bulldozer to the front of the FAA. This is bad management, and it's putting us at risk.
All right, Mike, we're going to keep following this line of questioning and attack that you are on so that we can get to the bottom of it. Thank you very much for weighing in. Mike Boyd.